Hello, I'm Tom Kerr and I'm the administrator for the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority. And our responsibility is to provide public transportation to all 15 towns here in Barnstable County. There are about 220,000 people who reside in Barnstable County during the winter months, and there are 15 communities and approximately 400 square miles. So we have an interesting and important role in trying to provide the best public transportation we can. And there are 15 regional transit authorities across the Commonwealth, going from the Berkshires all the way to Provincetown. And so our jurisdiction includes just Cape Cod. What we've done over the last several years has been trying to improve ridership, think of new ways to improve. We have a lot of different services. We have 7 different fixed route services, which means usually on the hour these buses leave various points and all head towards Hyannis. And here in Falmouth we have the Sea Line, which has been a long established fixed route service that leaves Woods Hole in the morning and gets to Hyannis, and it's an hourly service. It's a flag down service, so people who see the bus along the way can flag us down, and as long as it's a safe spot within the route, the bus can pull over and pick you up. We also have a Boston Hospital bus that goes to 16 Boston hospitals every day of the week. It starts in Wellfleet and it's a long day, so the bus driver has to go all the way to Boston, sit there and bring everybody back, and it's a very important service that we provide. We also have something that's somewhat unique here in Barnstable County, which is called our Dial-A-Ride service, or DART as it's often referred to, where you can call in and 24 hours before you need the ride, and we will come to get you at your home and take you where you need to go. That's a very costly service for us, so we try to encourage people to use our fixed route service, but those who need to go to a medical appointment or can't get out as often as they'd like can certainly call our DART service as well. Our information is on our website, capecodrta.org. I welcome folks to please look at that. It's easy to navigate and it's very informative. And I have an extraordinary staff that I work with. Our office is in Hyannis, but I'm from the Upper Cape. As some of you may know, I have a very deep fondness for Falmouth. Had the privilege of representing Falmouth years ago in a previous life. And so what we try to do is provide the best service we can. And our ridership has gone up exponentially over the last several years. We provided 1.6 million trips last year. And so it's been an important role that we've had here on the Cape, and I have a lot of fun watching my talented staff come up with new ideas. We meet very regularly to talk about how we can improve, what we can do to improve, try to help not only disabled and seniors, but anybody who needs to get from point A to point B. And I brought with me today 2 of the wonderful people that I have the pleasure of working with every day, Paula George and Kristen Boyd. Paula has been at the RTA for several years. She was there before I was there, but I obviously worked with Paula for many years prior to my coming to the RTA, and she's been not only a great friend, but an extraordinary worker who's passionate about helping people and doing whatever she can to make life better for people who have transportation challenges. And among the many things that she does there, she's primarily been noted over the years for her oversight on our human service transportation component of the Regional Transit Authority. A lot of people don't realize what that involves, but it's $11 million plus in the human service budget that we operate. Our budget is approximately $25 million a year, and the human service piece is very important. So I've asked Paula to come by today to talk a little bit about what that entails and how it impacts Falmouth people. We work with Falmouth a lot, and I know that Kristen will speak later about our regular interaction with Jill Bishop over at the council and the selectmen and others, the Steamship Authority, all the folks here in Falmouth that we have regular interaction with. But the human service piece touches all 15 towns. So with that, Paula, I was hoping that maybe you could perhaps just talk a little bit about the human service part of what we do.
Sure. Our human service program is we have a contract with the state to provide transportation services for several agencies. One of them, of course, is Mass Health. We do all of their medical transportation and also their dehabilitation. There are 9 programs that reside on the Cape. We also do provide services for the Mass Rehab Commission, the Mass Commission for the Blind, the Department of Mental Health, the Department of Public Health, which is their early intervention. It's a children's program. And then we also do social service transportation on the Cape. We have our contract with Elder Services. We provide all of their home care transportation, all their senior care options, and also the Visiting Nurse Association. We do all of their adult day health. Now, our human service transportation and social service transportation programs, we provide close to 400,000 trips a year.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And I know that we schedule, you know, PT1
Yes.
trips to the tune of about 1,000 a day some days, and
Yes.
and we go to, how many agencies do we go to?
Our Mass Health members go to medical appointments on Cape, off Cape, as far away as Springfield.
And we have the greatest call center and the greatest workers in our call center who really care. It's amazing to me, you know, we have a call center made up of 4 or 5 folks, and the work that they do is so incredible. They just sit in there for hours on end, and they're so polite to our customers. And I should say also that, you know, one thing that we do in our training when we hire somebody, or all our bus drivers go through rigorous training, and you know, safety is obviously our #1 concern, but we also really preach courtesy and kindness. And I have to say that a week does not go by when I don't get an email or a letter or a note or a call from somebody saying how nice one of our drivers treated him, or how Rob or someone in the call center went the extra mile. And it's really something I'm very proud of, and often get credit for all the great work that you guys do. But I also failed to mention earlier, which is somewhat Falmouth related, obviously, the Whoosh bus that we run in the summertime. We have 3 trolleys that we run during the summer months, one in Provincetown, one in Hyannis, and one in Falmouth. And the Whoosh bus is the bus that you see during the summer months that goes from the mall down to Woods Hole, and a lot of people take advantage of that. And we watch that closely because, you know, we contract that service out, so we want to make sure that they adhere to the same standards we adhere to, which is courteous, kindness, cleanliness, safety. And so we hope that that's happening here in Falmouth. I don't get here as often as I used to be here, but I certainly love this community, so I want to make sure that anyone who has any issues with any concerns relative to the RTA to please contact us. You know, Kristen Boyd is another dear friend who's been extraordinarily helpful to me here at the RTA, and she, like Paula, wears many different hats. You know, she's called the mobility manager, or she's got so many hats, I don't even know what she call her, but her primary responsibility is to monitor the services that we run all across the 400 square miles, and work with our operator to make sure that the buses are stopping at the right spots and getting there in a punctual fashion. And I know that she recently has been going down, meeting with bus drivers to find out, because they're the eyes on the road, to find out how we can improve, where we should move stops, how we can just create efficiencies. And she does that really well. Another thing that she does that I've asked her today to talk a little bit about is our senior initiative. And maybe I should speak a little bit about that and then turn it over to you. But about a year ago, in the Cape Cod Times, an editorial appeared saying, you know, there's an extraordinary amount of seniors living here in Barnstable County, which we all know. There's been a tsunami, actually, of seniors, and the projections are over the next couple of decades that senior population is going to continue to grow. And the suggestion in the editorial was that there has been inadequate planning in the areas of housing, healthcare, and transportation. And so we took that to heart. We met the next day and we said, well, we're already pretty proud of what we do to help seniors and improve senior mobility. So we had a press conference immediately after that, stating the things that we do, but saying that we're going to learn more, we're going to see how we can further improve mobility options for seniors. So we took about a year, and that's when Kristen went to work, meeting with all of the Council on Aging directors, including Jill Bishop here in Falmouth, and many others, and to learn how they're providing service for seniors here in their respective communities. As some people may know, we lease the vans that the Councils on Aging use. They get those vans through us, and we have a lease with them, and they do provide good transportation within the community, but sometimes the pressures are on for more service, and so we wanted to learn how we could better collaborate and that type of thing. So Kristen then took it on for the last year, and then just recently we had another press conference with that you know, the Falmouth legislators participated in. Senator DiMacedo and Representative Vieira were there, you know, and their support on Beacon Hill has been very helpful because we receive a lot of funds from the state. We operate, I'm sort of digressing, but we operate with funding from the federal government, which is the lion's share of our funding. We also get funds from the state, which is called state contract assistance. And we also get local assessments, which means each community on Cape Cod contributes to the service they receive. And then we get some advertising revenue as well. And we've operated with a balanced budget all the years I've been there, and we take our fiscal responsibility very, very seriously. But the senior mobility effort has been very, very rewarding, and we've been asked, since we sort of finished our efforts, to participate in a meeting in Boston with Governor Baker's cabinet to explain to them what we're doing, because it's resonating with people all across the state. We've been invited to the MARTA, the Mass Association for Regional Transit Authorities, to do a presentation on some of the things we've done, and Kristen really oversaw that effort. So with that long-winded sort of introduction, if you don't mind just talking a little bit about it, if I didn't already steal a lot of your thunder.
No, absolutely. Well, we started, if you remember, we started with our summit with the COA directors, where they had an opportunity to voice what was a challenge for them in transportation with the seniors. And from that, we decided that it would be ideal to go to each of the COA directors and meet with them and learn what they did. And what we discovered is they wear many hats as a COA director. They are doing outreach, they're doing, they're trying to keep the seniors active in just in so many ways. For example, Jill Bishop, when we went to meet with her, the music was loud, there was laughter in the building, and everybody was having a wonderful time. And her passion to make sure those seniors were having the time of their life and that they were out of their home and enjoying life was incredible. And what we learned from her is just some of the needs that they may need to continue doing what they do. And each of the COA directors do the same thing, and it's so impressive, the work that they do. These seniors have an opportunity to enjoy life through activities, educational activities, fun. They do trips. It just was a wonderful experience, and from that we were able to come up with different initiatives that we would be able to help to continue the growth and mobility for them.
So what else? I know that I know most of the initiatives that we've unveiled most recently, and I think the one that's probably gotten the most headlines is Free Fare Wednesday. So if you are 60 years of age or older, on Wednesdays you can travel on our fixed route service at no cost. And do you have any numbers about, I know we initiated that probably 3 or 4 months ago, but I know we've had over 1,000 seniors take advantage of that, right?
More than that, yeah. It's on Wednesdays, and what we've found is so far, I would say at this point, the last number check we had was over 3,600, and that was a few weeks ago, so I'm thinking we're over 4,000 at this point. And what's really exciting about that is an opportunity for the seniors to try our fixed route. We wanted them to know that there are other ways they could get around the Cape and take advantage of different museums or movies or shopping, and keep them so that they don't become isolated in their homes, and know that there's opportunities to be out in public and have a good time.
The isolation issue with seniors is a serious matter. I know, Paula, that you work on various committees,
Yes, I do.
that deal with those issues. So you're right, and I've heard from many seniors since we've initiated this program that have said, well, I took my wife, down to the Sea Line, down to Hyannis, and next week we're going to take H2O, and the week after we're going to take the Flex to Provincetown. So
Yeah.
it's not only, as you said, educational and fun, it's exposing those folks to public transportation. And you know, it's really important that we get people around without their cars. The roadways here were never built to really accommodate the volumes we have to deal with now on the Cape, and that's why I didn't speak earlier about how we unveiled this wonderful seasonal rail service, the Cape Flyer. I mean, that's our service, and it's one of very, very few in North America that have their revenues exceeding the operating costs. So, and that's been an enormous success. 15 weekends a summer, and we just completed our 5th year with ridership continuing to increase, and people very pleased with it. What were some of the other initiatives? I know we have loaner programs with the councils and training episodes. Do you?
Yes,
do you
sure.
remember?
The loaner program is where their vans are leased through us. The loaner program is an opportunity for them to borrow one of our vans that we have. So if theirs was in for repairs, or if they wanted to do a larger trip with more seniors, they could borrow one of the vans to accommodate the additional seniors that are participating. The other initiative would be they now have choices for the vehicles that they choose. So they currently have vans, larger vans that hold, how many passengers? 12 passengers. Now they have an opportunity to go with a smaller van that's similar to a minivan. So it would meet the senior center's needs according to what.
And also, you wouldn't necessarily need a CDL license to drive it. Right?
That's correct, yeah.
Because I think that the councils have had trouble, some councils across the Cape have had trouble recruiting and finding drivers that that can provide that service. Yeah. So yeah, no, and that's you know, that's important. Paula has had a relationship with these council directors for years because she's overseen the leasing of the vans, and it's been a real success here on the Cape. Of course, in my previous life at the state, I was involved with that too. That's how I got to know Paula pretty well. So I know you're on several committees, Paula, too.
Yes.
That deal with transportation. Obviously, is part of everything that we do.
Absolutely.
But you're on several committees. I know you're the president of Cape Cod Elder Services.
Correct.
And you're involved, as I am, with CORD, the Cape Organization for the Rights of Disabled. We're on probably 12 or 14 committees, which I think helps us learn what the people out there are saying. Can you speak to any of those healthy aging efforts or initiatives that you're involved in?
Yes, well, with the healthy aging, as you know, you, Tom, you're on the steering committee along with Kristen and myself. But there's a subgroup called the Human Services Group. And so it's all the human services providers, and we've met now, this is our 2nd time this week, to talk about you know, how we can look in the future and how we can make recommendations to the steering committee about you know, addressing the human service aspect of the growing population of seniors that are living now on the Cape, and also that are planned to be living on the Cape in the future. So we're focused in on the human service piece of that. There's other working groups for transportation and housing, but for us, we're looking at the human service piece of it. And we're looking at the collective impact approach, along with you know, several other states that have projects going, so that we can be better prepared for the seniors, the number of seniors that are coming.
So I think that just reinforces the importance of collaboration. As you can see from both Paula and Kristen, how sincere and passionate they are about what they do, and they're out in the communities, they're out at workshops, they're learning what the needs are. We talk, we meet, we're on boards, we hear what the folks want, and you know, I'm very proud of the incredible effort that goes on at the RTA. We've got really good people and doing really good things. So if there are any issues in Falmouth or anywhere that anyone has any concerns about, please call us or look on our website, as I said, capecodrta.org. One last thing I wanted to speak about was we always try to create efficiencies, and we've recently established a strategy committee. We've got several committees that do specific things, but one of our groups is charged with strategies to try to find efficiencies throughout our system without jeopardizing the service we provide. Can we do things better? Can we get more people on a bus and get them to where they need to go at lesser cost, but not in any way, you know, preventing them from getting what they need to do in a comfortable, affordable way? And so we've we recently, without getting too technical here, we pursued this thing that we thought might generate more federal revenue, and it included the Steamship Authority. And with the leadership down there, with Wayne Lamson in the past and now Bob Davis, they've been incredibly great partners with us. And they were required to report their miles for certain services to the islands and how many riders are included in those rides. And it turned out that they were able to be eligible for this NTD, National Transit Database revenue, that comes back to us in formula funds to the tune of $3 million additional dollars. And what we're trying to do with that is try to create improvements in transportation all across the Cape, and we're meeting regularly to determine how best to expend those funds. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because with some of those funds, we're going to send back to the councils on aging. Not a great deal of money, but councils are always strapped for cash, and towns and municipalities struggle. I know you have great selectmen here in this town, and they struggle every year. They have to balance the budget. And so we thought that maybe we could peel off some of this NTD money and send it back to the councils to perhaps just buy fuel or whatever needs they may have relative to their transportation. And so that's part of one of the new initiatives, right, Kristen?
Yes, that's an important initiative, because that's a supplement that should be able to help them with, like you said, fuel or maintenance, or even if it's just something for their program that they need. It's a wonderful gift back to them for what they do for the communities. Each of their communities is unbelievable, and to be able to assist them with that is something that, you know.
So even though we've had a great relationship with the councils, it's even been more strengthened. And I think what we've now suggested, one of our other initiatives, is we are going to have mandated, you know, biennial or periodic meetings with the council directors to share ideas, look at ways we can further improve. Is that's right?
Yes, yep. We have one coming up on November 8th. We're looking forward to it, and it's an opportunity for them to share, you know, what's working so far for them, and what we can do to continue helping, and in a way to work together and assist seniors in getting around the Cape.
And as I know you mentioned earlier, Jill here in Falmouth, Jill Bishop, she's been a champion in not only helping us and educating us about some of the needs, but in addition working with the town to try to build a new senior center. Paula and I had the privilege recently of going to the senior center for an open house, and it was overwhelming how many people showed up, and how many wonderful people you know, care about those services. And then subsequent to that, I think the same week, we went over to Paula and I attended the Falmouth Service Center annual meeting with Brenda Swain, and that of course is an incredibly wonderful story as well. And the speaker that day was that chef who I guess I'm digressing again, former politician, but he was extraordinary. I mean, people walking out of that room said, wow, the things he's done. And so Falmouth is a wonderful and special community. Yesterday we received an award from Capabilities for our dealings with them and trying to help move some of their disabled folks to various job locations, and we've hired many workers from Capabilities, which I would recommend to all the employers here in Cape Cod, in Falmouth. They're an incredible organization, Capabilities, and we received, as I said, a nice award for the little things that we do. And also the J1 workers in the summer that come over here to help assist in providing work for the seasonal traffic that we get here in our peninsula. And I know that Kristen oversaw a lot of that. Can you speak very quickly about the J1 stuff?
Absolutely. We had the opportunity to attend several dinners and training sessions at employers, more so on the Lower Cape, but I would love to get up into this area next year, just for them to learn about bike safety, the road safety, and to keep them safe. And in addition, we were able to donate lights to have them place on their bicycle or the backpacks when they're walking, to be sure that they're protected and more visible when they're out on the streets at night.
And Bike and Ped is something that we concern ourselves with greatly too, the Cape Cod Rail Trail, Shining Sea, and the effort up in Bourne to try to extend Shining Sea. We've provided some resources, and we'll continue to hopefully provide some resources to make Bike and Ped facilities more available and accessible here on the Cape. So I know whenever I have an opportunity to brag about my great staff and the great work that we do, I take advantage of it. But as I said earlier, Falmouth is a very special town. I love Falmouth. It's been a great town to me. and we really enjoy providing a service here. Please try to utilize what public transportation you can avail yourself to here in this region, in this community, and if there are any concerns or questions, as I said, please contact us. And I thank you all for listening to this sort of rendition of Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority.